well, here, let me talk a little bit about families. It's inside of Peru, at least in the spot where I was in our mission, in the areas that we're in there, our mission has a lot of problems with finding families who are married or that are even together. To find a mom and a dad and kids inside the same roof was really difficult to find. And it was really unfortunate because there was a lot of drinking and obviously I can't stereotype or anything, but what we saw often was a lot of men drinking in the streets, and so then the women don't feel loved, and so either one of them have an affair and the families are just torn apart. And I just saw this over and over again. I mean, I felt like I was told the same story over and over again. And it was so sad to see that that families there's a lot of split families, or you walk into a home and she's got 3 kids and the 3 kids are from different dads, and it was just like there's a lot of people who have situations where they're just thrown in situations like that, and that just happens, and then there's other situations that are that way because of choices. But regardless of either one, it was hard to find like one family all together, and it was hard to listen through so many experiences and so much sorrow from families who were torn apart. So anyways, I felt like that was one thing that was kind of sad for me, and to see that in the mission, and it made me feel so grateful that inside the church we strongly have a belief of eternal families, and that we strongly have the belief of that, you know, really we sometimes, I mean, I know that there's hard situations, and sometimes it's not completely doable, but if it's doable and if it's within our power, to try to keep the marriage together as much as we possibly can, you know, but there's definitely a lot of exceptions to that. But I just was so grateful that we have the temple that can provide a place where people can have new beginnings and go into the temple and have a family that's still together forever. And it was neat to see how some families, literally the mom and dad would come back together, and the thought and the idea of them being able to be together forever and not just till death do us apart was just so exciting to them. And to me, it's been something kind of second nature growing up. And to see that, it just made me value so much what it means to have an eternal family, and how God loves us so much that he places us inside families, or it surrounds us with people that we love, that he gives us the chance that we can be with them forever. And that's just beautiful to me to think about it that way. And maybe we haven't been placed in a perfect family situation, but we have the chance to make our own decisions and to hopefully create our own eternal family. And I just think that's beautiful too. And so anyway, so going on to one family in particular that came to my mind, they are a wonderful family. It was a man and a woman, and they were just living together, and they were just great. And they had 2 kids. And they were just so kind to each other. I mean, I don't know, they were just kind to each other, but sometimes they would bicker, and it was just like a great, you know, they already acted like they were married, you know. And so, but they just when we would talk to them about families being together forever, it was hard for them to think about actually committing to being married and then preparing to be married for forever and to have that joy for forever. But it was just so neat to watch the process go forward. And the father, I mean, one struggle that they had in the home was smoking. And the father would smoke a lot, and she would smoke a little bit, but she would always just tell him, you need to stop smoking, and da-da-da-da. And he's like, I can't. I've had this for a really long time. And it was neat to watch him. In the beginning, he was kind of skeptical, and he didn't really want to be too involved. But as he watched his wife and how involved she was and how she was really trying to change, and he began to be interested, and just watching how much effort he put into to stop smoking was just amazing. And all of a sudden, just to watch how their love grew in between each other, and then to get to the point to be able to watch them get married, which is really hard to get married in Peru sometimes because it's really expensive. And it's just super expensive to get married down there. And so sometimes you have to try to find massive free weddings is what they call it, or different things like that. But anyways, just to watch them work so hard emotionally, physically, financially, and spiritually to get to that point. And now and then to watch them get baptized and to go into the temple and watch them do, just to go into the temple and just feel the joy in there. And now they're preparing to go back to the temple soon to get sealed into the temple. And so anyways, sealed together for forever. So I think that's probably one of my, I just love watching how literally the gospel can bring us together, and it does give us a lot of hope for families. No matter what situation we're in or no matter what has happened, there's always hope that we can hold on to. And I just think that's beautiful.